Log recording 9:43 in the morning. It's the 17th of February 2023. River John City, Roseman, California. Yada yada yada. Yeah, I'm having issues with myself, and I'm having issues. Period. And turning on the damn news, everything else is going on ape shit. I was trying to talk about something in our previous video. I'll probably get buried alive like the worm it is. How people are going through depression. Only because we get a news story about a senator checking himself into a hospital because the complications of his stroke are leading to depression, and he's not having it, and he's going to try taking care of himself. How wonderful. Well, the guy keeps reminding himself that he's got government help and everybody else with the private insurance has to struggle with their damn shit left or right. But how people have to deal with this depression even after a stroke. My family and everybody around a stroke is affected by the damn depression left and right. And I like to tell them stories about it. In fact, I've been doing that on my videos left and right on this. This hasn't been the easiest damn thing for me to deal with. I mean, my own damn depression is making me feel guilty, and I'm tearing myself apart by not going to a doctor's office today trying to get my ass taken care of. A few days ago, I was on a phone call with a therapist trying to get myself somewhat righted and ready for the damn doctor's visit. And what happens? I fucked myself up in this damn shit. I screwed myself up on this one. I couldn't even go to the damn doctors to get my damn testing going on. My damn depression's been kicking me left and right, and my body starts following the suit. Is there a kind of causality effect here between it? Body goes and the brain goes, or the brain goes and then the body goes. What? I never could figure that shit out. But while I was trying to mutter about the other one concerning about it, and I was feeling angry. I was feeling angry, angry at myself, angry at anybody and anybody that decided to cross my paths. Apparently, because my mother, my little dog, my little mama's jumping on my legs saying, "I need to go out. I need to go out. I need to go out." And I'm like, I got enough with this damn shit. Oh my god, I'm losing it. I had to breathe. I had to breathe and pray and breathe again, and then hook her up, go outside, and just wait for her to do something. She didn't want to do anything. She already did it before. She just wanted to go outside because she couldn't deal with the atmosphere. She couldn't deal with the damn imitations coming over here. Despite the fact I kept trying to hug her, she kept wondering how come I'm hugging her like this. It's a hell of a lot of anger to put on me. Angry at myself because I made decisions out of fear, unwillingness, hate dealing with hate dealing with the tests that I keep being put through that are harmful, or not to mention medications that are going to be screwing me over one way or another. And people don't make enough of the damn stories concerning about depression and how people are getting their asses kicked left and right. How some of the suicides or people who are suffering from the effects of suicides are reporting their asses left and right on social media. And how people are talking about it. They're the survivors of it. The ones who see the other people have just killed themselves because of depression. Kill themselves by suicide one way or another. And I'm like, shit, we're all fucking affected on this damn shit. Are you kidding me? I mean, I could tell stories about my damn family at this point over here. I was depressed for a long time after seeing Aunt May died. I was depressed and so was Mom, but she was trying to hold the damn thing back in when she saw her own mother that she took care of her last several years of her life, literally. Excuse me on that belch there. And how she was affected down the road. We all try to put damn moleskin on, try to cover the damn thing up so we can function in life. We had to function in life. We had to function in society because we had to function with them, and this stigma around us. We had to function. Period. End of story. Oh, I'm sorry. You feel this way? Take a pill. Take a pill. Take a pill. Take a pill. Take a therapy. Get away from me until you're feeling happy about it. Then deal with it. I mean, I feel sorry for you, but you know, you're this way. You're feeling miserable. You're depressed, and we can't deal with that damn shit. So let's Let's not deal with it, okay? Let's not talk about it. Let's just push it aside. Let's deal with things right now as it is. Don't you understand you have to deal with shit like this right now as it is? The hell, what the hell you're thinking right now? We got other things that are more important than your depression, your feelings, your thought patterns at this point. Wow, where are you going? Where are you going? You're just walking away? You're just going to stand there? You're going to stand there and cry? You're just going to sit there and ball your head off? You're just going, where are you going? Now listen, I'm life. I'm society. I'm talking to you. Who the hell you think you are turning your back on me? Don't you know I need your attention right now? What do you think you're doing? You're going to be doing that? You're going to be ending your life? Oh, screw you then. Hey, yo! What's your major malfunction? Get over here. I need to bug the living crap out of you. Don't worry about him. That's just a rotting corpse right there. We'll just catalog him. What? They left a note or something like that? No, they didn't leave a damn thing. I don't care about it. Leave them alone. They're dead. They're gone. They were here. Were they actually even here? I don't want to know them. Oh man, that pissed me off. God almighty, that pissed me off. You were talking about this just made me angry and enraged. I just wanted to freak out and just scream at anything and everything. The senator was one trigger of it. I was talking to a friend of mine minutes before I sat down and started doing the damn taping. And I just brought back a little girl. She already teed up peeing. My neighbor friend came over here, and he's walking his dog out there too. Our dogs get along with each other. And there was one topic that he was still he listened. He really wasn't quite wanting to get into it because it's a damn trigger, and I already just triggered his ass. But he was trying to avoid triggers left and right because he also lost family. But he had to keep busy for his family. He had to keep going on, and that's the moleskin for you. Let him have it. Let him deal with it. Let him go through it. Because eventually, one of these here days, he's going to get into that position. He's going to be asking me how you deal with it. And the only thing I'm going to be telling him is it's a day at a time, sometimes a minute at a time survival. And even if you happen to cry like crazy, you cry like crazy. You have to bawl your head off. You have to throw up emotionally. You have to go through the damn process. Because of how much love and how much investment you've put into what you've lost. And that hurts. On a news program, they were talking about Senator Fetterman checking himself in for the depression because of his stroke had affected him in a way that depressed the living crap out of him. And he checked himself into the hospital. I didn't. I never did. I don't trust medical establishment. Give me a second here. Sorry about that. Reality check for me. So basically, what we're talking about is how depression affects everybody, causes, and stuff like that. Now, I have said before in my videos, I'm no guru. Okay? No letter of academia. Nothing. No expert. Except living 57 years of my life, and most of that, I've been living with it. Because when you have a near-death experience, or actually when you have a death experience and you come back from life, it changes a person, gives them a different point of view, perspective, and a hell of a lot of fear and terror and everything else to deal with. A lot of collateral damage. It's supposed to be smooth over. I'm supposed to be a brave boy dealing with this shit. But somehow it gets drudged up all over again, and I still have to deal with it. Now, in our society, we have to keep telling us, well, since we dealt with the issue, we don't need to deal with it again. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me in this damn thing? And screw the damn language right now, because I'm going to get guttural. Because it's there. It's becoming part of our. It's not an official record on a piece of paper. It is part of us inside and here and in our soul that we still have. That we still have to deal with the collateral damage. I'm sorry. For you, it's the past. For me, it's It's part of my nature. It's ingrained in my genetics right now. It's already in the subconscious, ready to dole out the tape again every so often just to drive me fucking crazy here. It's the damn emotional triggers I'll get left and right to put me through a damn crying fit, but then depressed as hell. Or I'll get depressed as hell because of the decisions I've made, which will lead to anger, lead to frustration, anxiety, and then I'll deal with the damn PTSD when it kicks my ass. And these are the residents I have in my subconscious that will never leave. There is no medication on the earth. They'll get rid of them. It's part of me now. And I have to deal, recognize, work through it. This is the process. This is my process. This is how I have to deal with it. Now, if I was like Fetterman, suffering through a stroke, half the brain, or probably part of the brain, is still affected by it, and he still has to deal with his inner demons. And it's one of the demons is the depression. His body's still in neurochemistry, is still trying to get used to it. Not to mention his spirit, because he is violated at this point. Through no fault of his own. Shit happens. My family history, my genetics, I have to get through the damn shit. So let me go through this. Let me go through this damn stuff here. MA died in '79. I had depression during that time. Right after her death, she lived with us for a while. Makes an impression. You get the connection. You get the investment. She's dead. There's a deficit. I'm going to be putting this in zeros and ones at this point over here, but in human cost, it's like ripping part of my soul right there, and I have to deal with the pain for a long while. Because I loved her. I made a commitment to love my mean old aunt at the time, and I changed her somehow, one way or another. So we became the best of friends. And when she died, right after my birthday, it hurt like hell. A long while I had to put that out of my head. A long while. Now it's resurfaced. I still care and I still miss her and I still grieve. That's part of the thing I have to go through now. Later on, Grandma. She had stayed with us alive for a long while, just like Aunt May did, but then last 3 years or more, she had a stroke. She had a stroke. Ma was suffering through a hell of a lot during that time. And had to take care of this grandma. Dave was already going through his shit in the military, came back as fucked up as ever, but, about a year or more, a little after a year, he had to go back in the Navy. And got out royally fucked up. Not a dishonorable, but bad conduct, almost just as bad. Because they didn't play by the rules. They wanted to stay, you wanted to help. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. Shit happened to him in there that he was only revealing decades later. Well after Mama died. Some stuff he talked to her before she died. Never talked to me about it until I heard about it in the meetings. Then we had to have a talk. And more talks about it. But I know he was suffering through a hell of a lot. Mental health was affecting him a great deal. A lot. So apparently it's genetic in our family's history. Mama was suffering through it, and then when she lost Grandma, that was it. I know she lost it, but she had to keep slapping on that moleskin. She had to keep going. She had to keep functioning. She had to keep living. Keep paying her rent. Keep doing things. And push back whenever she could. Sometimes she couldn't tell us that she was so damn hurting at that point that she had to do what she had to do. I think sometimes she was royally angry at us. She was actually feeling the pain. She was actually feeling the grief and depression even before Grandma died. She knew Grandma was dying and there was nothing she could do about it. And she already started the grieving process. And part of the grief cycle, as we understand, is anger. Comes out at times. Sometimes the most inappropriate. But it does come out, and she had to deal with it. She had to deal with it. There was nobody out there for her to talk to. No doctors or therapists for her to talk to. She had to deal with it on her own. And then there was me, trying to deal with me. My own stupidity. And me trying to deal with the shit. And not knowing how to deal with the damn shit. No doctors or therapists or anybody. Nobody. Just, you go through it. Had we known about therapy during that time, had we known about how to deal with stroke victims during that time, we may have had a better chance with each other. If the Navy actually had understood about this damn shit, maybe they could have helped my brother out a great deal. But the problem is, he wasn't willing. He was ready to get the hell out. He wanted to do his job, but he didn't realize that his job scared the shit out of him. And he had to deal with a hell of a lot of crap. So naturally, he comes out as an addict and an alcoholic. A way to hide from everything else. He died clean and sober 32 years, but he still had the collateral damage still there. There's me. They worried about the damn heart, but they couldn't deal with the damn heart I had. I'm not talking about the physical. I mean, the physical, they did surgeons did their job on it, but the rest of it, fuck. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody understood. No communications, no nothing on it. So how the hell were we supposed to be able to deal with depression and guilt and grief and everything else during that time? There may have been shrinks out there, but we didn't have the access to it. And we didn't understand about it, and the doctors we didn't confide in. We didn't confide to anybody else that we were going through a hell of a lot of shit. Because everybody else accepted it as regular shit. How the hell were we supposed to be knowing that we were suffering through this damn shit? It's no wonder people actually had a problem trying to communicate with everybody else regarding their own suicidal thoughts because everything was accepted norm. We all had to go through we all had to battle it. We all had to be brave about it. Put up the facade and put up the veneer. Grandma goes, Ma goes nuts. But she had to hold it all in and still leak out her anger every so often because of the pain she was still dealing with. And not just the physical pain that she had to deal with on a constant basis, but the pain in here and in here. And every time she kept losing a family member, it was tearing at her left and right that she really couldn't ask for help because she didn't know how to ask for help. We really didn't know how to ask for help or try to get help. And maybe help during that time wasn't quite available for it. Or something prevented us from having that. Or understanding it or recognizing, or even the medical establishment recognizing it. But we would have to let the medical establishment know what the hell was going on, didn't we? Or anybody else for that matter. Nobody. Quiet. Bury it under sand. Bury it under moleskin. Just move on. Deal with the pain. Meanwhile, we had Mount Vesuvius left and right in each of us ready to blow our heads off. Every time there was a relative and a friend. We grieved, we mourned, we had to move on. We had the pressure inside of us ready to go off. And we let off the steam by yelling and screaming at each other and not even knowing and understanding the reasons why. I'm going off the memories that I have. I'm going off the impressions and everything else I've gone through just to talk about this. Because if I don't talk about this damn thing, I'm still perpetuating the same damn thing. And if I happen to look at everything else that happened, I may or may not be wrong about reporting this here on Earth. But what I'm reporting is what I remember and what I've been going through and what I've seen my own family go through. And this wasn't easy for them. A little side break on this one here. If you happen to see anything crawling around at any point, this is a reality check. This is an actual bug war. I'm fighting cockroaches. Been at it for about 3 or 4 months in this apartment. I've been dealing with Orkin and management trying to get these bastards out of here. So don't be surprised about it. Back to the ranting and ravings of a lunatic here. This morning when they were talking about Senator Fetterman, one of the news organizations was bringing up an old file in an interview regarding President Joe Biden losing part of his family. But they didn't get it in full context. They're talking about what happened, but they didn't put it in full context. They really didn't. When you lose people that you have a lot of love invested in, it hurts like hell. I wouldn't be surprised if President Biden talking to therapists about this, off key, off camera, away from people, or having him brought into the White House to make sure that his mental state is all right. He can lie about it like crazy, but I know him better on this state. How? For the people who have gone through death and lost people through death, I get a perspective at this point. It's enough for you to put on the moleskin and try to be tough and brave about the damn thing and keep smiling like crazy because that's what everybody else wants to see. It reassures them that you are theoretically okay. But the problem is, you ain't okay. You got this practice veneer, this Hollywood setup over here. But you're not actually seeing the damn braces behind if they're rotting away left and right. Main reasons why I keep doing this damn thing is to talk about it. What I see, what I observe, what I learn, what I've gone through. Because in the event I happen to lose my life in a process, either by my fate or by my own choice, at least I'm leaving breadcrumbs of telling people what the hell happened, how I lived my life, anything and everything else I could pour on tape, just to let them know that this is real, that suicide is not painless. It does bring changes, and I'm not taking it too damn lightly at this point. Just screw up a damn song, I'm saying. Depression follows anybody and everybody, one way or another. Whether you're suffering through medical condition or you're suffering through mental health or both. Been through it myself. Go back to the tapes I've got here. It'll tell you what you need to know about me. I tried to be a survivor at this point over here, and it's lousy at times. I've survived near-death experiences. I've survived a heart operation at the age of 4 years old. Then I did die and come back. It changes a person around. 4-year-old's not supposed to do this kind of shit, or remember this kind of shit, or go through this kind of shit. Either he lives or he dies. I'm living, and maybe I should have been dead. But I'm here. I can still will myself to death if I wanted to. I still have implementations of doing the forceful act on myself. I saying to the Creator, here I am. Bob said it wasn't your time. Yeah, well, I had enough. I had enough. I couldn't deal with what was down here on Earth, so basically I did myself in, boss. In our culture that we have, in our different many cultures that we have on Earth, suicide is looked upon as a heavy sin because we have insulted our Creator and we have slapped him upside the face and say, I don't care. I can't deal with it downhill, so therefore I'm taking my life. Either by because I can't deal with the shit I just went through and lost everybody else. I want to join them and wasn't allowed to join them. I got sick and tired because of one reason or another, either selfish or whatever kind of reason, but I decided to take my life at this point over here. Instead of just dealing with whatever fate says that, okay, fine, now it's your turn, now it's your time. Have us go willingly, and the rest of us are fighting like hell over it. Ma was dying inside and didn't even realize it. She was dying emotionally at this point. I'm convincing myself more and more of that because of the memories I still have of Mama. She was just getting too damn old and too damn tired. She had lost too many damn people, and what really broke her, I mean, the last person that nailed her ass was a niece that we all loved. We all could have helped out, and we never. I think, well, we kept telling ourselves we never could because we didn't have the opportunity room or whatever the kind of excuse it was, but it didn't happen. But we had. I don't know why we chose not to. Except maybe I was unemployed, David was still struggling with work. Mama's Social Security paying for the rent bills, barely. And we were struggling. And to have another mouth to feed? How the hell are we supposed to be able to deal with that shit? Then when I get work, we got work. And then we hear about our cousin. Cursed at each other, I guess. Because we couldn't help her out. Her family tried, but the families were busy living their lives. One of them actually took out, one or two of them actually took some time off to take care of their mother the best they could. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't enough, I don't know. I know Ma and Dave blamed themselves for it. I was still in too much shock. Tony Ray was as much of a sister to my brother as anybody else was. Despite being a cousin, she was still a sister of my brother. And Tony Ray was much of a daughter to my mother. And apparently the family just faded away. Not even bothering checking up on how the hell we were doing with each other. They had their own busy lives. It's the thing when you have death in families, everyone else separates. They don't come together. We all have to either grieve, we all have to live and say screw everybody else, just disappear. Without having to check in to see if anybody else was alive or dead. Or how the hell everybody else was trying to deal with it and coping with it. Or how we're supposed to be dealing with the grieving. That was the thing that still made me resentful, probably even to this point of the family, even to this time, is that we just don't bother to keep checking on each other. We have the happy faces, that's one thing, but for the ones that are totally silent, we lose track. We don't care to keep track of each other. We just push them out of our brains, push them out of our sight. We're out of sight, we're out of mind. Who gives a shit? If they die, who cares? You talk about the anger? Yeah, that's a hell of a lash out I did to the family then and now. But that's the episode. That's how it is right now, I guess. Grief continues on in whatever form or function. It will depress you, it will piss you off, it will disable you. I'm disabled because of physical injuries, but then the mental health took over, and then everything else got jumbled. So my body is reacting to the point where, yeah, I'm probably on a subconscious countdown right now. I'm probably on a subconscious countdown at this point, where nothing else matters. Despite the fact I may have an occasional contact with a neighbor who may or may not have gone through the damn thing, sometimes it's hard for them to talk about it. I said before, that neighbor friend of mine who walks his dog, who works at a job that's giving him hell. He still has a wife and a kid to support. They're all struggling. They're all struggling. And I don't know how I can help them more. I don't know what I can do to help them, to help myself. I know what it is to physically struggle. Mentally, it's a different story altogether. We all don't like to put out our dirty laundry outside because we're too ashamed of the damn stains we've got on our clothing. Clothing, not exactly the clothing we're wearing on our outside skins, but on the inside, covering ourselves. Yeah, I feel like emotionally want to throw up again. I only ate a couple of Pop-Tarts and a banana for breakfast, coffee. I understand grief. I'm understanding my own grief more and more, and how depression kicks my ass, how PTSD kicks my ass. Get PTSD in major traumatic events, including losing people that you love. It sticks with you. People will cover it up with chemicals of all sorts. But you can't cover up the damn soul. That hurt in there, that hurt inside. Talking about good memories are one thing. And sometimes you have to understand, sometimes those memories will bring it out again. And you have to deal with the pain. You have to deal with the loss. You have to face it. You have to talk about it. You have to get rid of it that way. Even if it has to be therapy sessions and you can pretend like you're on top of the world, the problem is they know it to, hopefully they'll know it to be a facade. But they'll record what they're recording anyway. And I have to do these tapes to tell what it is that I'm going through on the inside. I'm wrecked right now. I'm hurting. Besides physical hurting, I've got mental hurt. I'm still bleeding. I still have open wounds. I'm still too damn sensitive. And these have to go out, and these have to talk to people. These have to talk about me and posterity and everything else going on, because it has to be. I have to talk about this. I have to communicate this to people. And I wish to God that medical and psychological services out there understand this is an ongoing war that they'll never win. That this is an ongoing war that's been facing us ever since we realized the damn thing. Without even realizing it. Took us, what, about a century and a half to understand it and try to write things about it, and we're still learning more about it. Because we're learning about ourselves, what we're capable of, what we're going through, what's tearing us apart left and right. What hurts like hell and breaks us like crazy, where we're crying like crazy, even on videos. Even on videos. We show our pain. It's one thing we see the physical suffering of things happening like an earthquake and burying people and you lose your loved ones in there. That's traumatic. That's PTSD, grief and depression kicking in right there. But what about the long-term stuff that we actually have to live through? When we see relatives that we care about, that we pour our hearts and souls in caring about, even when we have to change our lives and make them upside down to care for them on their last days of their life, and then they're gone. We're supposed to move on and be comfortable with that? We're changed forever. We're changed forever. We don't have a normal. We have to adapt, we have to survive, we have to function. Because that's the only way to get through the damn thing, isn't it? We can't be broken down pieces of shit because we don't even know how to be broken down pieces of shit. We have to be propped up chemically and everything else going on. Because we have to function in life and society. But the thing is, we have to function. We have to function. Find a way to function. Even if it is we're being held up by canes or crutches or walkers or whatever we're using. We still have to live. We still have to exist. We still have to understand. If not, prepare to be buried alive like the worms we are. And that's one reference. It's too damn close to the damn truth, isn't it?